You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
Go Tigers, 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 go Tigers.
You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
Go Tigers, 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 go Tigers.
You're now listening to Tuff Tiger Talk with Big Q and the guys on the Pro Media Network.
What's going on, fam? How y'all doing, man? You're now rocking with Tuff Tiger Talk on the PRO Media Network. We in the building, fam. We're going to recap this one, man. Arkansas, we're going to go back and look at that Arkansas matchup. But we got the preview we're going to be talking about with the Tigers as they take on Texas A&M. Could y'all believe it, man? The LSU Tigers no longer number one. They have the audacity to place us down all the way to number two, saying that Ohio State is a better team. Can you fathom that? The disrespect is real, man, but you know how we deal with that here in Tigerland. We just got to take care of business in a major capacity against anybody that come against us, and just more foolishness. I guarantee if Alabama was sitting at number one, they wouldn't have to deal with this. But anyway, I won't be bitter. We're going to bring it to the live stream today. D. McBride. What's going on, D? A serious contributor, LSU man, diehard, purple and gold to the core. This man very intelligent on all topics LSU. We're going to bring Mr. D. McBride and welcome him to the Tough Tiger Talk family. What's going on, D?
What's going on, Tough Tiger Talk fam? Glad to be here.
Good to have you on, family. And like I said, D is a real smart dude, man. You cut him, he bleed purple and gold, no doubt about it, man. The brother got it together as far as LSU knowledge. Mozzie 5 will be joining us a little later in the show, man. But before anything, I just want to bring the family in and say welcome to the live stream, my boy D.
Yo, I appreciate it.
We got some things, man. D, like I said earlier in the show, man, you heard my intro coming into this thing, bro. You heard, obviously, you know, we're gonna get into the matchups, the recap of the Arkansas matchup. I'm gonna get your thoughts on that, and of course, we're gonna preview the Texas A&M game coming up this afternoon. And, you know, like I said, we got some interviews we're going to play. Coach O's going to chime in on his thoughts on both games, as well as Joey B., the Heisman hopeful. Well, Heisman, I mean, he got the Heisman wrapped up pretty much. Nobody even close to him. And, you know, I was getting into a lot of this talk, you know, and I've seen a lot of the ads dealing with the fact that LSU, formerly number one, but they were already incrementally throwing it out there that LSU was going to drop to the number 2 seed. They was going to drop to the number 2. I kept hearing little ramblings, so it wasn't a surprise to see what they were going to do. But the disrespect to LSU is serious and it's real. We beat 4 top 10 teams during the season, including Alabama, who was pretty much reigning as the number 1 team for some time now, for years. And all of a sudden, here we go. What you think about that, D? Just to give thoughts on that dropping from 1 to 2, and what these so-called experts think. What you think about that?
Well, it's like you said, they have been hinting at it for a while. They just wanted a reason to knock us down. Because schedule-wise, you just said it, the number of teams we beat that were ranked, Ohio State doesn't compare to that. So these analysts, they don't want to see us at number 1. And like you said, they've been hinting at it for a while, and you knew it was coming.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. It was definitely coming. And Feinberg and a few other guys were talking about this nonsense. I don't like it, man. But in the end, it's ultimately what it is. We just have to take it by force, like we just dominating and have been taking it by force. But anyway, let's get into the first matchup that we won't go over, and that is, of course, LSU's just destroying Arkansas 56-20. This was a pretty good game. LSU improved itself to 11-0 and 7-0 in conference play, taking out a very lackluster and terrible Arkansas Razorback team. And nothing sharp about these guys. Might as well call them the Dawgbacks because they suck. We were able to just stump the lily, you know what, out of them in this matchup here. LSU was able to compound 612 total yards of offense against Arkansas, even though the Tigers turned it over one time. They had 25 first downs in this matchup, even though LSU dominated the game 56-20, the time of possession was weird. 40-29, Arkansas held that advantage. The Tigers just had the ball for 19 minutes and 31 seconds and still were able to destroy this team. There were over 102,000 people watched this game, man. It was spectacular. Joe Burrow, 23 of 28 in the matchup, 327 yards, 3 touchdowns. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Fresh Prince of Helaire, a.k.a. Young Ingram, a.k.a. Improved Darren Sproles. He had 6 carries for 188 yards, and he had 3 touchdowns off of 6 carries. Absolutely insane. Jamar Chase has been the man all year long. He had 6 catches in this one for 144 yards and 2 scores as SEC gains that title berth by knocking them off 56-20. I mean, it was just a special game. D, what's your thoughts on this game? And we're going to roll right into Coach Show after that. What's your thoughts on LSU drumming Arkansas?
Stat-wise, I think we did pretty good. I think the only thing I have a problem with, and I know once we jump out to those big leagues, we do a lot of substitutions. We need to, I think a lot of the time those analysts also look at how many points we allow these other teams to score, which, I mean, it really shouldn't play a factor in it because once you jump out to a big lead, it really don't matter. You're going to win the game and cruise anyway, but that's about the only thing I like to see them do, just hold these teams down to a little lower score. Other than that, offense is on point.
No doubt about it. Offense on point. Defense could have played a little bit better in this one. I wasn't upset as I was with the Ole Miss matchup, allowing that much yardage. But in the end, you see Dave Aranda was able to tweak a few things, and the Tigers' offense so far ahead of the defense. And for some time, the defense has been the sticking point for this team under Coach O. But Coach O has really turned it around offensively speaking. They're so dynamic, and that led to the win over Alabama because you have to have a dynamic offense and a damn good defense, and they showed up. But this is a really good win. Even though this was a good win, they did a lot of great things in the SEC with this win. Coach O says there's no reason to celebrate after beating Arkansas. Here's Coach O to explain himself.
Overall, 11-0, proud of this football team, but we're not done yet, and there will be no celebrating tonight. We're going to celebrate the victory, and on to Texas A&M next week. We're going to be ready to play that football game. Any question? You know, it's not done yet. We're not done yet, and we're not going to talk about that. And obviously, it's a goal of ours, but we have bigger goals, and we'll talk about that next week. We're not finished SEC play, so we're just focusing in on Texas A&M next week. Yeah, I thought the defense, they ran the same plays that Ole Miss ran, and obviously, I thought we stopped them now. It wasn't the same type of quarterback, obviously. I don't think this quarterback was as good as Ole Miss's guys, but we made some corrections. In fact, the first play was the same play that hurt us, and we did a great job of it, so I'm proud of our defensive staff.
Can you just talk about the, success that Clyde has had these last 4 games? Really
Yeah, he's on fire, yeah. We really like Clyde, obviously. He's starting to learn how to hit the holes. This spread offense fits him well. He's perfect for it. It creates they're always a gap short up front. They're trying to cover our receivers, and the offensive line is doing a great job, and he knows where that hole is. And usually the first guy can't tackle him. He's doing a tremendous job. Unbelievable. Vision, the spin, go through them, make them miss, cut, outstanding. Great back.
When the score is 56-6, you want to play some other guys, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Are you being forced to have to worry about the committee and how the score looks and stuff?
No. We just want to win the game. I wanted our offense to try to score. I wanted Miles to run our offense and try to score. I didn't want to let them score. I didn't want to give up that onside kick. We look a little sloppy at the end, so it's just a matter of competing for 60 minutes. I think he did well. Yeah, I'm proud of him. Yeah, really, I thought he did very well. Obviously, there'll be some things on the film that we got to get better, but it's his first start, man, in the SEC game. I thought the guy did tremendous.
Do you think there'll be any high emotion regarding against Texas A&M next week?
What's that?
Do you think there'll be any high
No question. There's no question about that. It's going to be on.
That include the coach being?
Was that?
That include the head coach being?
No question. No question. I'll never forget that game last year. We're going to be ready.
Is that as upset as you've ever been after a game?
I don't know about that. I just, that's over. There's nothing we can do at the end of the game. We felt helpless, but there's something we can do about it this week.
Last week, you said that the players were kind of down on themselves for their performance. I guess kind of as a defense, how do you think they've taken, strides in this?
Yeah, I thought they were ready to play, man. I thought they were ready to play. Coach Aranda was fired up. Our whole defensive staff was fired up. I thought they did some really good things tonight.
Second week in a row, you have that offensive line that shows looked pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess the maturation as a whole of the
Yeah.
line and the offensive.
Yeah. They've done a good job, but I will say this: they struggled at the beginning of the game. We got to look at it. We was getting too much pressure. We didn't want to get Joe hit. But overall, man, those guys have done a tremendous job. Credit to Coach Craig.
Into the first quarter, 7-6. What do you think changed after that?
Yeah, I think it was like pounding a rock. We just kept on coming. We was going to pound the rock, man. We're going to keep on coming. We knew that, hey, we wanted to play for 60 minutes tonight. I thought it was good for our football team. I didn't want to, we'll go out there and just, it'd be an easy game. We don't want that, and it wasn't an easy game, and we got better. We had to keep on pounding the rock. I thought our team got better tonight.
Kobe Stevens kind of took over the game defensively.
Oh, man, did he play well. One of that first sack, he was supposed to drop in coverage, but he saw the tight end blocks. He took a chance and got a sack, and then he beat the tight end.
Am I on?
We need to rush him more.
Is this thing
He's
working?
a dominant football player for us.
That Moss broke the single season school record for receptions by a tight
Oh,
Yeah.
this is rough, yeah. I got it now, though.
Are you of him after the things that you're having to wait for so long?
Listen, man, Thad Moss is one of the most improved players
I can't see you.
in our program.
Am I doing something wrong?
He had a lot of injuries. He changed his mindset. He dedicated himself
Press
for his
this button.
senior year. Again, I say it again, spring break, I went work out.
No, that meant that
He's
was a
there, didn't go
screenshot.
home. He said, Coach, I'm going to be dedicated to this year. Look what he's done. Tremendous player. I
This
think he
is
has a
cool,
great
bro.
future, and it also helps us in recruiting tight ends.
Took a little minute,
With
but
all these tight ends, we're going to throw to them and
This
just see
is
it
over.
on film.
It's the second week in a row, y'all just left the trophy on the
you put my headphones in.
Yeah. There's a mindset of this football team. We have a goal. And the goal next week is to beat Texas A&M.
I can't see
And,
you.
that's going to be one at a time. We know where we want to go. We don't talk about it. There'll be time to celebrate
I
when we're
should have
done.
did this from my computer.
So, excuse me? Well, we're going to look at it on tape. I haven't looked at them at all. Obviously, we did not defend them very well last year. They have those big receivers. I just need to look at it on tape. I feel we're going to be a lot better this year. It's going to be a good game.
You talk about how you got bigger goals. Is this the kind of statement win that kind of shows y'all something while you're going on that goal?
What you doing?
Yeah, I don't
You
think
gotta
this is a
move?
statement win. And we don't look at it that way. We're 11-0. We're proud of that. Our focus is going to be at 12-0 beating Texas A&M, and that's it.
A lot of sub personnel, I guess. How healthy are you, and where do you think you should
Yeah, I was glad that we could sit Grant. I thought that he needed a rest. He was playing hurt the last 3 or 4 games. I do believe that Austin Deckness is going to be back. I know that Sadiq is going to be back, so I think we're going to be about as healthy as we've been, and we're in good shape for the stretch.
There's been a little bit of I know you asked this question years before when you didn't win that game, but do you think there's been a little bit of a post-Alabama hangover? You won the last 2 games, but maybe
Yeah.
you haven't played your
Yeah.
best football.
I don't think so. I think, we went out there and we played good football in the first half against Ole Miss. So I don't think it is that. I think it's a matter of the teams that we're playing, and there's some situations that we got to get better. We're very potent on offense. We're improving on defense. We're making some mistakes on special teams that later on down the road we can't make. It's going to be back, so I think we'll be about as healthy as we've been, and we're in good shape. Yeah, I got to tell you all the truth here, okay? That play, when they went in, I said, hey, guys, don't y'all think it's time to get Clyde out? And they said, just one more play, Coach. And they felt like they were going to make a big play, and that was that one play. So I'm glad we didn't take them out.
That was Coach O, man, with his thought process on that game, man. We played a little bit at length just because of the coaching, man. We wanted to make sure. He said a lot about both Arkansas, reason not to celebrate the Arkansas game. And then obviously the fact that this is a major game coming up versus Texas A&M, which it's just commonsensical, man, if you think about it. I'm gonna bring in Mozzie 5. What's going on, Mozzie? Can you hear me, man? Are you here?
Yo, what are you doing?
Can you hear Mozzie?
What you doing? I'm on the phone. You doing all
Mozzie, can you hear me? All right, Mozzie, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, D, we got Mozzie coming in with the commentary here. Kind of late to the party, but it's all good. He had a few problems. But D, are you still with us, fam?
Uh-oh.
D, are you still with us? D McBride?
We got to get D back on. We got to dial him back up.
All right, we're going to have to get D. D, if you can hear me, I guess some kind of way D dropped off. All right.
This new technology, ladies and gentlemen. This is not how we normally operate. We're just trying to get more streamlined, so just bear with us, please.
Yes.
I'm a retard, and it took me a while to figure out how to get this Skype thing on. So, like, just, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. We live now, though.
All right, D, if you still penciled in, I know you're listening to us. D, chime back in. We got everybody hooked through Skype. So, D, if you can hear me, man, chime kind of link back in. Let me see if I can see him there. Yeah, D, can you hear me? Are you still there, D? D McBride?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right. D is in the building as well. Let's make sure because we got Mozzie as well on the other end. All right, we're going to have to try to link them back. Y'all are on two separate channels here. Let me see if we can group y'all together here.
Yeah, I had got paused for a minute.
Yeah, y'all are operating on two separate channels here. But we might have to just make that work for right now. I know y'all can both hear it. But let's keep it rolling, man. Fab, you heard Coach O's conversation dealing with Texas A&M. Of course, going into Texas A&M matchup, we dealt with several overtime periods in which Texas A&M was able to win 75-72. LSU was number 6 at the time, 9-3 going in there. 74-72 win over Texas A&M. What are your thoughts with this upcoming matchup? We have to be on guard against this team and the cheatery that they might have been involved to do since dropping us down to number 2. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, again, like I tell you, every game, like we discussed going into every game, I think we had to be definitive, and death has to come swift. We can't allow these people to hang around. We can't allow these people to develop a brain. We definitely can't allow these people to develop any kind of momentum or give them any kind of notion that they have a chance, from a confidence standpoint, in thinking that they could actually win this game. We got a 17-point spread, and we got to cover that, man. I mean, this is why we got punished by the BCS committee last week, or this week rather, and they bumped it down to number 2 because we had a 43-point spread against arguably the worst team. Well, maybe Vanderbilt, but close to the rock bottom team in the SEC, and they don't care that it's the SEC. I'm just gonna be honest. For whatever reason, these people are these committee people, whoever they are really on Big 10, Big 12 teams, ACC team. They're really on these other teams. I get it. Don't get me wrong, but I think that there are a handful of teams that are just not respected. LSU being probably the number 1 team that is just totally not respected amongst its peers in the NCAA. And you got other teams like Baylor, who I also think is being disrespected totally, because they too have faced several top 25 teams, and they remained undefeated for a while, and they didn't get the respect that they deserved. So I mean, you got to kind of weed through it and kind of figure out what's going on. But we got to beat these people handily. We got to beat these people and cover this spread by the 17. It's got to be quick. It's got to be swift, and we got to make sure it's done. That's the only way that we're going to retain that number 1 seeding and get it back from Ohio State. I honestly, like I've told you several times before, I think that they're willing. I think that they'll definitely lose one of the next 2 games that they have coming up here in their conference. And I think that it all pan out once we go ahead and beat Georgia in the SEC championship next week, because that'll be our 5th top 10 team, and we'll have 6 top 25 victims under our belt.
I hear what you're saying, Mozzie. I think that's one of the good things about it, man. The respect aspect. If this was Alabama, man, you would not be having these issues about dropping us from 1 to 2, and then the incremental attempt to try to get us ready for the drop. They knew they was going to do this. And then, of course, like I said, LSU's taking out 4 top 10 teams during the season. Ohio State's not even close to that. And then all of a sudden, Ohio State's sitting up at the top. And I know what the bean counters and the idiots want to do. They want to try to make sure 2 SEC schools don't fight for the championship. So they won't slip Clemson in there and Ohio State by making off-brand commentations about saying that Ohio State and Clemson could be LSU right now. That's absolutely insane. It's crazy. There's no offense that's kicking ass like ours. Going to bring D. McBride back in the conversation, 5. I want you to hold tight. But we're going to bring D in the conversation, man, and see what he thinks about it in this one, because to be quite honest with you, man, this is really hectic. And I'm really kind of upset about it, to be honest with you. Big ups to Paul. I see you there, Paul, in the live stream. Paul says LSU need to watch Texas A&M injuries or something to watch out for. He says, oh, yeah, Baylor has a stout defense as well. Thank you, Paul. Good to see you, fam. D. McBride, our contributor, is also in the building, too. D, you heard some of the conversation from Mozzie, man. He breaking it down. What's your thought process on the Texas A&M matchup with LSU? Are we looking out for some more chicanery, some more boobery, some more garbage time stuff? That's obviously what happened in the matchup last year. You heard Coach O. Coach O was kind of upset about it as well. In the report, even asked Coach O, hey, man, this was were you at, is that the most angry you were? Because Coach O knew what that game meant last year. To lose that game basically knocked them out of the national conversation talk. They had an opportunity. I say all that to say, I'm going to give it to you now, D. You have the floor. What is your thought process on this upcoming matchup with Texas A&M, and what do you think is going to happen?
I think just like all of our matchups that have been this year, we need to put them away and put them away early. I think this year we are a totally different team, so I don't think it'll be a big problem with them. But they are going to bring their A game. We are going to have a bitter taste in our mouth. So we need to put them away and put them away early.
Put them away and put them away early. Looking Texas A&M, man, I was looking at some of these statistics, man. They don't intrigue me nonetheless, to be quite honest with you. Now, of course, we're going to be a little, this is a personal game. You heard what Coach O said. This was a personal game. And there was some absolute garbage time crap that happened last year. I was highly upset about that. I was pissed off to the highest level of pistivity. I mean, seriously, I was really upset because this was just outline cheating in the game to try to stop LSU in the win. It was just really disrespectful. The pass interference calls and all of the nonsense. But this was going to be in Death Valley. Coming into the matchup, LSU's averaging 48.5 points a game, 23.5. The defense is giving up. Texas A&M averaging 32.1 on the game, we're giving up 20.2. Total yards, 14.9.6 versus LSU's 56.1. Tops in the nation. You look at 386.8 as far as the passing yards go per game versus the A&M Aggies 260.7, and they rush about 160 yards per game versus LSU's 174. Defense gives up 123.5 points a game. LSU 362 flat, and of course Texas A&M only allow 192 yards per game through the air, 129 on the ground versus LSU almost 233 and 129 on the ground. So their top men is the same guy they had last year who look absolutely ridiculous with them shoulder pads. Kellen Mond, he's sitting up there, 235 or 370, 27-10 with the yards, 19 touchdowns, 6 interceptions versus, and then Spiller is their top back, Isaiah Spiller, 144 carries for 803 yards and 8 rushing touchdowns. And then their top wide receiver is Jamon Osborne, who has 63 catches for 840 yards and 4 touchdowns. Our dude is, of course, Joey Burrow, the Heisman man, 290, 1 out of 389, 1,400 yards, 41 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, blowing everybody the hell away. Clyde Edwards, the Fresh Prince of Hell Air, 164 on the carries for 1,146 yards and 15 rushing touchdowns. This is insane. Jamar Chase is our top man, 63 catches, 1260, 15 touchdowns. Insane, man. How dare you put LSU down to number 2? It's absolutely bull crap. I don't like it. And D, you a lot calmer man than me, brother. But I tell you one. Go ahead, D.
Well, I definitely don't like it myself. So, but you know they have been talking about it all week. So, but what really doesn't make sense, of course, we dropped down last week when we totally dominated Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after the Ole Miss game,
Mm-hmm.
possibly if they wanted to make that move, then it would have made more sense. When Ohio State blew out Rutgers,
Mm-hmm.
but for them to do it last week, it makes no sense. It's just something they had planned, and they don't want to see us at number 1. But that's good. We got a chip on our shoulder, and we're gonna take it off.
That's right. I agree with you, D. They've been planning this for a while, man. And we're going to have to you're right. This sets a chip and puts another chip on the shoulder. So we knock off Alabama. We going head on into a collision with Georgia. We got to take care of business there. Then there's the college playoff where we have to prove ourselves against the people who they said they will beat us today, which is looking at Clemson, looking at Ohio State. Great matchups. We'll see how it all goes. But in the end, it's going to be SEC teams playing for the national championship. No doubt about it. Let's bring it back to Mozzie. You hold tight there, D. We're gonna bring it back to Mozzie. Mozzie, you heard what D was talking about, man, on the stream. Let me ask you this, fam. Like D was saying that we're gonna have to hit these people fast and furious, hard. What is your conversation? What is your thought process on in terms of getting a win against Texas A&M? Of course, this is gonna be in Death Valley. It's going to be in Death Valley. So, and we got a lot to take care of. We got a lot of stuff to do. We got to get in there and make stuff happen. But D, like D said some really great points. And one of them was we got to get on them, got to jump on them, stay on them, and get them on out the way. It's going to be your personal game because they cheated the hell out of us last year. What you think that game looks like? What we got to do to knock them off?
Well, I mean, again, the first thing we got to do to knock them off is our defense has got to step up and play a lot better. Offense, I'm not even worried about. And I mean, I know taking a cross section of the LSU football Fighting Tigers program over the last decade, maybe 2 decades, that's been something that you say very lightly, but our offense is not an issue. We gotta step it up on defense. I think that we've been letting people. Alabama, I get. Ole Miss, I kind of get because we weren't game planning for the running quarterback. Arkansas putting 21 points on us, man, that's not acceptable from our defense, man. I'm going to just be honest.
Right.
It's not acceptable for our defense. And our defense is, we can't allow these people to score more than 10. They're marginally better, I'm going to be honest. So, I mean, 10, maybe 14 points is about the roof that we can let them score. And on the flip side, we've got to be mid to high 30s, possibly low 40s. I think that'll garner the respect of the masses once again. And I think that'll have us with a full head of steam going into the SEC championship, which, let's make no mistake about it. Once we go into Atlanta, which is basically a home game for the Bulldogs, and we beat them handily in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I don't think that there's going to be anybody in the world that could deny the supremacy of LSU going forward into the college playoffs this year. So, I mean, I think that their placement and their seeding is all going to be hinged upon that one game, and I'm cool with that because we haven't asked for anything all this time, and we're not asking for any handouts now. But I want them to have that same energy, next Saturday evening after we beat the Georgia Bulldogs at a home game in Georgia. I want them to have that same energy when it's time to have that final seeding and elect those 4 playoff teams and see exactly where we fall. In terms of that. With that being said, we got to handle business. We got to handle business today. We know how that went last year, and we definitely got to handle business against Georgia, a team that we do not see very often, right? And more often than not, when we do see them, is in the SEC championship. So, I mean, with keeping those things in perspective and in mind, I think that LSU will be fine. I think that we definitely got to get these defensive issues fixed going forward. I think that Joey B and that offense has to feed Hilaire, especially at this point. I think we have to be more game managers and feed Hilaire. I don't think that Joey B needs to be worried about whether or not he's going to be the winner of that Heisman. I mean, he can say all that he wants, that he's not concerned with that or that's not a focal point. But come on, man, a 20-year-old kid coming from a second string backup guy over at Ohio State to come down here after having such a promising season last year to end in such turmoil, and then coming out as we did this year, and dominating across the board. There's no way that's not in the back of his mind. Man, this is my time. But what he has to understand is it's already won for him. All he has to do is win these last 2 games, and he'll write the ticket. Hurts and Tua both were competing for that Heisman earlier in the season. Both of those guys are completely not in the same block, same category as Joe Burrow is right now. And he's got to understand, I don't need to do anything cute, or I don't need to overcompensate to try to get this, will this to happen. You will be the Heisman Trophy winner if you just handle business in the next 2 games.
That's very true and well said there, Ray, because this is, if you think about it, it's quite the spectacular story that it is, man. From a backup coming in here, taking over the starting job, and then 2 meager years later, he's a Heisman hopeful over guys that were leading championship teams. Great story. And speaking of which, here's Joey Burrow, the same guy we just talking about, with his thoughts on the Texas A&M home finale. Here you go.
You played 2 games in 1 and run the ball 30 times, your body's going to be pretty sore, especially as a quarterback who had never run the ball 30 times in his entire career. So that was a pretty low feeling after the game for sure.
Did you literally collapse?
I just got super dizzy and lightheaded and kind of just had to sit down on the ground. I didn't collapse, you know what I mean?
Joe, was there any particular moment that stuck with you and lingered the most in that night? That bothered you the most after?
So we were playing really well in overtime. We were getting 2-point after 2-point, and then the last time we had the ball, we scored the touchdown, and then D ran a great route. We had him open, and the ball got tipped at the line, and so we didn't end up. We actually still completed it, but he didn't get in the end zone for that 2-point play. So that one kind of run through my head a couple times. If I could have waited a little longer and found the window, so that one came off the field mad because I kind of knew that they were rolling on offense. They were going to go down and score and possibly get the 2 points. So that one kind of runs through my head.
What about the stuff that you couldn't control, like some of the reviews and football stuff like that? Was any of that lingered and bothered you?
No, not really. We had plenty of opportunities to win that football game, both in regulation and in overtime. So you can't control those things. You can control how you play.
Did you see they made commemorative cups with the score and stuff like that on them?
No, I didn't see that.
Black Coke at their stadium to get a 74-72.
Interesting. They're bowl rings.
There's a feeling you guys just want to annihilate these guys after last year. How do you feel about doing that and keep your emotions in check?
It's just another game for us. We feel like if we play the way we're capable of playing, we'll win the game. But they're obviously, they have 4 losses this year. 3 of those teams have been in the top 5, or in the top 5 currently, and Auburn was in the top 10 for a lot of the year. So their losses are really good losses. They're a really good football team. We're going to have our work cut out for us.
There were a couple times in the overtime where they were on defense and Coach O sprinted about 40 yards to call timeout. I'm curious if you saw it and if so, what you think of it?
I don't think Coach O's the fastest person in the world. Not going to lie, I haven't seen it, but I'd have to study that tape before I answer that question.
How many points did this offense score if they played 7 overtimes this year?
Oh gosh, 74 is still a lot of points. I can't remember how many we had in regulation. Was it 31? 31? I'd like to think we would have more than 31 this year in regulation. Hopefully that game would have been, hopefully we wouldn't have scored as much because hopefully that game would have been over.
So that was kind of the first game that you kind of unleashed you running the ball a lot. I mean, was that kind of the game plan going in? What do you remember from that?
Yeah, so I came in on Monday and Coach O called me in there. He's like, we're going to run you this week. I said, okay, I like it. I like running the ball. I like getting hit sometimes. Then we get to the game, and the rushes just kept piling up. I was like, dang, I didn't think I'd get to 30. I think I had 100 yards at the end of the game. First time in college, I didn't think I was going to be running the ball that much, for sure.
That's Joey B with a few of his thoughts, family, on the upcoming matchup against Texas A&M, and of course a little previewing of what occurred too as well. So interesting, man, to say the least. But this is definitely one of those games where we don't have to worry about somebody falling asleep toward the end of the season. Most certainly not. This is one of these goddamn games where LSU has been waiting just as much as they have, not probably as much as the Alabama game, but they want some payback in this sucker. No doubt about it. They got to get it. They got to take care of business. They got to handle business against this Texas A&M team. And to be quite honest with you, I'm just going to keep it real with you. They need to handle business ASAP against this team. So we're going to bring in 5 right here. Then we're going to bounce it and go back to D. McBride and see what he has to say about the final scores about the business. So let's look at it. 5, I'm coming to you first, and I'm going to go to D. McBride. What is the final score in this matchup? What do you think is going to happen in terms of score in this LSU matchup with that high-powered offense and everything going on? What's the final score in this one? Are you there, 5? 5, are you there? I think we might have lost 5 here. We're going to bounce it to D, see if D's still there, and see if the family's still on the phone. D, are you still there? All right. It looks like we might have lost both our guys here. And that goes to show you Skype ain't really hitting on nothing. But anyway, you know, that's the bottom line, family, in this one, is the fact that we dealing with are you there, 5?
What is the final matchup? What do you think is going to happen in terms of score in this LSU matchup? With
all right, we get some feedback.
Everything going on. What's the final score in this one?
All right, we can get feedback. You there, 5? Can you hear me?
There, 5?
All right, I guess 5.
Are you there? I think we might have lost 5 here.
All right, we got some feedback there. So
bounce to D, see if D's still there. See if
all right,
still on the phone.
All right, family, let's
D,
keep it moving.
Let's
see here.
All right, looks like we might have lost both our guys here. That goes to show you Skype ain't really hitting on it. But anyway.
All right, family, we're gonna keep it moving.
That's the bottom line, family.
And we're getting a little feedback there.
We're dealing with. Are you there, 5? What is the final matchup? What do you think is going to happen?
All right.
Hello?
All right. Can you hear me? Come on with it, 5. If you can hear me, give me a final score on the LSU game against Texas A&M, fam.
We get feedback. You there, 5? Can you hear me, 5?
Get feedback from your radio. Turn your radio down.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? All right. I guess 5 can't hear me. All right. Let's see here. Got some issues, family, going on, but we're going to keep on moving anyway. All right, anyway.
All right, fam, we're going to keep it moving.
All right, the next thing we're going to deal with, fam, is the fact that, hold on, let me see if we can turn that down. Yeah, we had some issues. But anyway, family, I'd like to thank all y'all for joining us on the Tuff Tiger Talk today. But my call in this one, man, LSU versus Texas A&M, LSU should win this one handily, man, to be honest with you. Should be a good handily whooping of this team. I'd like to thank both my contributors, both Mozzie 5, our regular contributor, and guest contributor D. McBride for chiming in. Appreciate D. McBride. You're going to definitely be hearing from that brother. But also, remember, we're going to whip on this team, man. I'm predicting something like 48 to possibly 21. That's the matchup. Maybe that's what I'm looking at, 48 to 21 in this matchup. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here on Tuff Tiger Talk. If you are a Tuff Tiger Talk fan, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, comment. We're going to keep it real. Thank you for joining us on Tuff Tiger Talk. Peace.
HomeBistro.com. Freshly prepared, home delivered restaurant quality gourmet meals delivered straight to your home. Choose from over 50 plus gourmet meal options cooked by world-class chefs and delivered frozen, ready to eat within minutes and no commit. Welcome to the one-shop gourmet food delivery, specializing affordable options to eat eat right, and feel great. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Every ingredient is handpicked to the highest standard. And why you should buy from homebistro.com? Restaurant quality made with natural ingredients delivered right to your door. Overnight shopping is available. Diabetic, paleo, heart health, and vegetarian options to eat. Doing business since 1999. Courteous, knowledgeable, and professional support. Complete PCI compliant SSL security ordering, and great meals. Choose from some of my favorite dishes: the Mediterranean chicken with orange honey sauce, the charbroiled chicken romesco, or the grilled chicken breast with sweet and spicy vegetables. No matter what you choose, you can't lose with homebistro.com. Eat great, feel good, and save some money with homebistro.com. Hit the link in the description section below for more information.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needs it the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to EmbracePetInsurance.com. That's EmbracePetInsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.